Hello. Good morning, world, and welcome to the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast. We thank you for tuning in with us this morning as we conversate about the latest sports topics that has taken place from this past week and will be upcoming this week. It is always a blast to have you all tune in and participate with us every weekend. As a reminder that every week we always like to begin our podcast by reminding our audience that the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast can be found on Facebook, via the Early Morning Sports Talk Podcast community page, on Spotify as the Early Morning Sports Talk Podcast, YouTube as the Early Morning Sports Talk Podcast, Apple Podcasts, or any various places where you can find your podcast. You can also find the Early Morning Sports Talk Podcast, as well as our own Facebook pages via Brandon Price, Jamar Goodman, and Peoples Hernandez. Today is May 14th of 2022. And we have yet again seen another fascinating week in the sports world where we saw Doc Rivers, according to our brother, Jamar Goodman, Mr. James Softner, not James Harden, but Mr. James Softner in the Philadelphia 76ers, quit with their season on the line Thursday night against the Miami Heat, who advanced to their second conference finals in 3 years. Jimmy Butler, and bro, he sent a lot of shade towards the Philadelphia 76ers as well. The Mavericks, they forced a game 7 after they brutally assaulted the Phoenix Suns in game 6 with the showdown to close out this series on Sunday afternoon now. The Milwaukee Bucks championship pedigree showed up in game 5 when it mattered. While the Boston Celtics, they appeared to look stagnant, but they bounced back last night, bro. Tatum dropped 46 on him, outdueling Giannis, who dropped 44. And the Boston Celtics went on the road and took care of business. And it just leaves so many questions with this Boston team because damn near, and at this point, the series should be over with. I mean,
sure.
They done kind of messed up at crucial moments. As well as the Golden State Warriors. They took care of business against the Memphis Grizzlies, and they closed them out last night. In which I give a lot of respect to their star, Ja Morant. And so with that being said, introducing my partner here on the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast and my brother from another mother, Mr. Ian Jones. Appreciate your time, bro, and thank you for chopping it up with us. What's good with you, my brother?
Same old, bro. Glad to be here. Blessed to be here, man.
Yes, sir. And so with that being said, guys, you might notice that Jamar Goodman is not with us this morning, but Jamar is away because he is on an anniversary trip and he's having fun with his loved one, with his family. And so we salute you, bro. We send special love to you and for you to enjoy your weekend. And so with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's get right into it this morning. So let's talk about the NBA playoffs, bro. The Bucks and Celtics. We see a lot has been going on with this series.
Very entertaining series.
Yeah, man. Boston has bounced back. It was like, in a way, you expected Milwaukee to take care of business last night, but they didn't. And so it's been a seesaw series, man. But just your thoughts from this series and who comes out with this series, bro?
Man, in this series I got Boston winning 7, but man, I expected it to go 7. Like I said, it's been a seesaw series. Like I think the first 2 games, they were blowouts.
Yeah.
But then I kind of predicted after that. I think those teams, they got a feel for each other after those first 2 games, and then ever since then I was like, I don't think it's gonna be too many more blowouts. It's gonna be some hard fought playoff basketball, and that's exactly what it's been. It's probably one of the best series out of the playoffs so far, for sure.
Absolutely.
I think Jason Tatum has showed us he is a superstar now. It's no all-star. He showed us he's taking that step, and he's a superstar now. For sure.
Yeah. I'm looking at you, man, because you're my bro. But we was just literally talking about this yesterday, man. And I feel like with Jason Tatum, he is a blessing for the Boston Celtics, but at times he's an issue because in Game 5, bro, he was the reason why they lost. Now, don't get me wrong, the championship pedigree for the Milwaukee Bucks showed up, bro. Drew Holiday with them scripts, Giannis with the big block at the end, Bobby Portis with that second, chance rebound, put it up with like 11 seconds left, give him the 1-point lead. Like all that is a part of the championship pedigree.
Drew Holiday.
I mean, yeah, man, his defensive prowess, man, his 3-pointers. McConnell, his catch and shoot. He catch the ball. As soon as he catch the ball, bro, he put it straight up and just toss it like that.
Yep.
It's butter. It's pure butter. Like all that plays into the championship pedigree of the Milwaukee Bucks. But I don't think they would have had a chance to show that championship pedigree in if Boston stayed aggressive. Last night, you saw Tatum being aggressive, like it mattered. And I just felt like in Game 5, they got really, really stagnant, bro. Like they got stagnant to the point to where like they just weren't moving the ball. They got, one-on-one basketball. Oh yeah, Jaylen Brown, go ahead, do your one-on-one thing. And which he got hot, if you remember, in Game 5, he hit a few threes. It was looking good. But Jason Tatum wasn't as hot as Jaylen Brown, and they kept giving him the ball. And he was just throwing up a damn brick show. Absolute brick show. Getting D'd up by Drew Holiday, etc. Like, my biggest issue, man, with Jason Tatum, bro, is at times he can be very, very nice on the court. But then at times he can be like, what the hell are you doing? Like, you slowing down your team. And if you guys will stay aggressive, Boston literally at this point would be in the conference finals and not having to go to a Game 7 and deal with a lot of pressure, because you think Giannis was going to do some Game 6 and he come in Game 7.
Yeah, he's going to show up. He's going to show up. He's going to show up for sure.
He's going to come at a whole nother level, like a superstar level. And I want to see what Jason Tatum do to bounce back and go toe-to-toe with him, because obviously Game 6, he outdueled.
Yeah.
He outdueled Giannis on his basketball court. But we're going to see, man, how that championship pedigree look. But just quickly, man. So, like, I know Jamar, he was rocking with the Bucks.
Yeah.
You were at first, but then when you saw this series, you ended up picking Boston. So at this point, do you feel like Boston will win the East if they win this series? Or like, how would you feel, if they win this series, how would you feel about them going up against Miami?
I feel like they can beat Miami.
If they can beat Milwaukee.
Yeah, I feel like you can beat the champs. I mean, it's possible. But I mean, not to take nothing away from Miami, they literally were at the finals, 2 years ago in the bubble. So it's pretty much the same team, except PJ Tucker maybe. But that's pretty much the same team. So they look hungry. Miami look hungry again. But yeah, I think if they beat Milwaukee, I think they can go to the finals. I think they can win the East.
Yeah, man.
Won't be easy, but
right, won't be easy. But yeah, like with Milwaukee, man, they also had a dynamite chance last night to close Boston out, and they didn't. So the question would be now, will this come back to haunt them? Because, you would expect Milwaukee at home, bro. Like,
yeah, Giannis came to play, and I don't think nobody. I mean, who else? I think one other player had double figures, but I think that was about it. Nobody else really came to play. Right. And then another thing is, Giannis is typically not their closer. It was Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday had 17, and that was it. But Drew Holiday, he wasn't really efficient. But I mean, when you got Drew Holiday efficient, and the role players coming to play, and Giannis, he gonna do his thing regardless. They tough to beat, so I expect it to be a close game 7. Probably,
Right.
I would say it might be one of the best games out of the playoff this year. Probably that game 7 for sure.
Right. And keep in mind, yeah, man, we're gonna get to another series that is gonna be on Sunday too. And so
Mm-hmm.
in this case, yeah, that means we got 2 game 7s.
Yeah.
No basketball today, but tomorrow. So yeah, man. Jeez. Only thing is, man, I wish, Jason Tatum was more consistent, man. I see your
Mm-hmm.
point of him being a superstar, but for me, he's just not there yet. I feel like he's an all-star that's budding to be a superstar soon. But he needs to make better decisions, superstar decisions, and do superstar type things consistently and not just on a periodic basis.
So let me ask you this: if he takes them to the finals, let's say he takes them to the finals and they win it all this year, is he a superstar?
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
And so what a superstar do, man, is a superstar close out um games. That's what superstars do, bro. Like it's some superstars in the NBA, such as or some basketball players that's been all-stars in the NBA that can close out games too.
Mm-hmm.
Brandon Ingram is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
But like when it comes to consistency, even Brandon Ingram, like I put him and Jason Tatum in the same round, bro. I know it sounds crazy. They both nice as hell, both of them.
Mm-hmm.
But when it come down to just that overall consistency, where they're gonna do it every night, they're gonna do
Mm-hmm.
it against anybody. I know Giannis gonna get his stuff against anybody, bro.
Yeah, I agree.
That's why I
'Cause,
consider him a superstar.
yeah, I mean, we even got one in Chicago, DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan is one of my favorite players, probably since he's been in the league, even going back to Toronto days. But I don't consider him a superstar though. All
Right, he
star,
a
yeah,
star.
yeah.
Right.
Like you say, he can close out a game, which we've seen all this year. But
Mm-hmm.
is it on a consistent basis? No, not really. It's like he's there, but it's just something. I don't know. Maybe it's just something missing. Maybe it's the consistency. But
Right.
yeah, so I get it. I get where you come from for sure.
Yeah, man. So we got a big game 7, y'all, coming up between Milwaukee and Boston. And I was hoping that Phoenix game could have been a day game because I felt like that would have gave Phoenix some type of like momentum. But it looked like that's gonna be the night game now because Boston and Milwaukee
That
gonna be the
one.
day game. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, man. But great point, bro. We should definitely see how this show persist as game 7 comes up. It's going to be very, very interesting to see if the Celtics can knock off the world champs. On the other hand, bro, the Sixers and Heat. So,
Mm.
man, Miami Heat, bro, they looking like the best team in the playoffs. I mean, the Warriors look good too.
Mm-hmm.
So just curious, man, like your thoughts from this series, any disappointments, any shout outs? Like, what are your thoughts from this series, bro?
um, I do have one shout out, and I'm not a big fan of this player, but Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler has come to play this playoffs. I think he's averaging around 27 points. It might be even more now in the playoffs, but he's come to play this. He's going to play this playoff in both series. I mean, they pretty much got it done. They look like the more hungrier team. I know Philadelphia dealt with some injuries. One of their superstars, he just looked lethargic. Looked like he don't really want to be there. I don't think he's focused. What Jamar call him? James Softener.
James Soften, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they number one team in the East, and they playing like it. I mean, we always say with Miami, it's sort of like a hit and miss. Miami gonna play defense. They're gonna play hard nosed basketball. That's just in their culture.
Mm-hmm.
When they hitting their shots and everybody's contributing, they are a hard team to beat. And that's why they're number one in the East. So I mean, they looking like they're real hungry right now. They're looking like
Right.
they're real hungry. I definitely want to see how they would play, between the winner of Boston and Milwaukee. But I mean, they're just looking like the number one team right now. They're honestly they're looking like that team back in what was that 2020 that went to the
Yep.
finals in the bubble. That's exactly what they're looking like.
Yep. They are a well-rounded team, man. They defend, they get up in you. And like you say, bro, when they hit their shots, they are extremely tough to beat. One thing that I noticed about Miami, bro, and it kind of goes back to us playing football at Morgan Park.
Mhm.
We knew at Morgan Park football was our life.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, it's sort of like when you're in the gym, in a lot of people that are there, they're like lifers. It's a lifestyle for them.
Mhm.
It's very similar to Morgan Park where Coach Spurlock had us, and it was a life commitment for us during those 4 years. 7 days a week, sometimes we can be at Morgan Park,
Mhm.
if we got a Saturday game, we still got to go up there Sunday morning
Sunday
before
morning.
church.
Yep.
And that's still a lot of exercise in itself. But like the conditioning is where I'm going for Miami, bro.
Yeah.
Miami is well conditioned. And I think that comes from Jimmy Butler being there. Because Jimmy Butler, when you look at the man's stature, he's well conditioned. And when you look at James Softner, does he look well conditioned?
No, and not focused either.
Does James does Joel Embiid look well conditioned? No.
I wouldn't say he doesn't look well conditioned. It's just I don't know, it's just always a freak injury that happens to that.
He gets tired a lot too, bro. He gets tired. The man was worn out game 6. Like a lot of that was I'm going home, but a lot of that was I'm tired, fatigue. And so that's kind of been Joel Embiid's thing. Injuries and bad conditioning. It's been years, if you remember, Ian, where they would talk about his weight.
Yeah.
They would,
Because I think at one point he was having foot problems, I believe. I think he was having foot problems or ankle issues or something similar to that. So yeah. But I know that stems from his weight.
Right. That's been a part of Tyrese Maxey got that motor, bro. I don't understand why they didn't play Milton more. I felt like he was a big piece for them last few years, but they just kind of dropped him out the rotation for some reason. George Niang, does he look well conditioned, bro?
Nah.
My whole point exactly, bro. Like Philly, number one, they weren't the more talented team Miami was. But additionally, they just weren't as physically conditioned as Miami. And then Miami just got a better overall team with better chemistry. And so all these things just kind of, caught up with Philly. James Softner, man. I mean, I'm so disappointed, bro. Like, I don't know if you noticed, I went live Thursday night. And I went live literally in my living room because I'm sitting there watching the game. And I'm saying to myself, like, James Harden, superstar, going for a $215 million max this offseason. 2 points. 11 points the first half. Second half, 0 points, 2 shot attempts, 1 in each quarter. And this is literally a close-out game. And so either that's saying Philly quit and they just walking around how we do in the rec gym and they like, man, the game over with, bro. Let's just go ahead, go down, shoot some threes. It's 12-1, game 13. Let's just shoot up some threes. You know what I'm saying? That's how Philly was, bro. Like, let's just go ahead, shoot up some threes, move off the bam, and see what happens. And maybe James Harden just didn't happen to be in that mix. And as a result, he only got 2 shots. But I'm just thinking, like, if you were a superstar, it's like Lupe Fiasco. If you are who you say
you are, yep.
superstar, Didn't have no fear. And so I feel like with, not Lupe, but with James Harden, like if he claimed he a superstar, bro, you should have no fear. You should be ready for that moment, ready to throw down in that moment. And he just came out flat, bro. Like he looked like he didn't even care. Like you said it a few weeks ago. Like, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like he going through the motions. And I think who was I watching? Shannon Sharp even he made a good point. He said, when have we seen him really show up in the playoffs, especially in a closeout game? I mean, he said, I'm shocked, but I'm really not. I had to think, like, he hasn't showed up in a closeout game. I mean, they had a closeout game against the Warriors when the Warriors went when Chris Paul got injured when he was with the Rockets. Yeah, they were up, I think they were up 3-2. Closeout game, and I believe it was in Houston, I believe so.
Okay, that was the game 7 in Houston.
Okay, yeah. So it probably was in Golden State, but I believe they lost both of those games back to back, and they were up in the fourth quarter. So it was like, I mean, even last year in Brooklyn, of course I think he was hurt or his hamstring or something, but same thing. This year, no injuries this year. It's just the same thing. He just looks lethargic, like he doesn't want to be there. I think like even what we were saying, I think it was last week when Tyrone Maxey didn't want to sit by him. I think it is something going on in the locker room as well. Maybe they're not pleased with his performance, or maybe they're not, getting along with him right now. I don't know. I don't know how he is as a person. I'm not gonna, assassinate his character or anything, but I just don't think during the playoffs, I just don't think he's there. He's basically a season player.
Right.
At this point, I mean, he hasn't showed up in his whole career in the playoffs at all. He hasn't showed up at all. You're a superstar, you got to show up. Like you just said with Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum had a subpar game. What was that? Game 5, game 6, he showed up. 46 points, led his team to a win on the road. That's how superstars show up. Even with Giannis last night. Giannis had 44 and 20. We haven't seen 30-point game. James Harden. James Harden
At all this season.
Yeah, we didn't see James Harden score 60 points with a triple double. It's not many people in the NBA history that have done it. We don't see nothing close to that, like nothing even close to it. He just seemed disinterested, like he just don't want to be there. Like he's just going through the motions, basically like he's there for a check. Like he's just going there, like, oh, well, I'm gonna get paid today, so let me go on out here, pass the ball, and I guess we'll lose, and that's it. Like he basically played like he knew the series was over. When your co-superstar is hurting, that's when your team needs you the most. They need you, period. But Joel Embiid's been dealing with injuries, and he's had a pretty good year. He's fought through them, he's played, he hasn't missed many games. That's when they need you the most. That's why they brought you there, bro. So now, I mean, it may have Philadelphia looking kind of funny. Like, do we really want to sign this guy back and give him the super max deal? Is he really owed that from what he just showed us? And what he have showed us with multiple superstars? He's played with Kevin Durant, he's played with Chris Paul, he's played with Kyrie Irving, he's played with Russell Westbrook. He's been there. Conference final. Yeah, now Joel Embiid. These are MVP caliber MVPs he's played with. He's won MVP. He's been a scoring leader. We're talking about a scoring champ. Right. A scoring champ. Just you take 2 shots in the second half. I think his response, I think somebody asked him, what was up with him only having 2 shots in the second half. And I think his response was, I didn't get the ball back. You're the superstar of the team and you don't get the ball back. You're supposed to take over. This your time to take over.
Exactly.
Any top scorer I know that he's been compared to T-Mac, Allen Iverson, the greatest scorers of all time, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan. They don't take the ball and take over.
Yep.
Just give me
Give
the
me the
ball.
ball to move.
Everybody get the hell out of the way.
Right.
And I'm going to shoot. I don't care if it's 3-4 people on me. I'm going to shoot. Even down to his dribbles. He, like you say, he don't look like he in shape. Like he couldn't get past Oladipo the other night.
Yep.
Tried to step back. He tried to bring it back. Oladipo sat down in the stands and he wasn't going.
Yep. That's facts, bro.
It don't look good. It don't look good at all. It don't look good at all. So I don't know. Philly is. I don't know. It don't look good. Now it looks like, let's just say Brooklyn comes back next year with Ben Simmons and they have a very good year and they number one in the East. They lost the trade.
Pretty much.
They actually almost still look like they lost the trade because in the end, Ben Simmons didn't even play, and they pretty much got the same performance out of Ben Simmons last year in Philadelphia and James Harden.
Yep.
And Ben Simmons is nowhere near close as a scorer like James Harden.
Nowhere near. Yep. It's crazy, man.
It's crazy to see. Like, man, I'm thinking, early in the day going into the game, like, man, James Harden, he gonna show up today. Like, we're gonna see one of those 40-point night games, almost triple-double, maybe a triple-double. Not even close. I mean, not even 20. Not even close. Not even him taking a lot of shots and just saying, well, he was aggressive, but they just wasn't falling. Not even one of those nights. It was just like, I'm just out here. We gonna lose.
Making that paycheck.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, bro. Do he kind of remind you of like Kyrie Irving sometimes? Like just with his nonchalantness, like I feel like at times Kyrie just collect checks too, bro. Like Kyrie, he is very self-centered. We know all about Kyrie, but I feel like sometimes Kyrie, it ain't never like a disinterest in the game. Never with Kyrie, at least on the court.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to like his attitude sometimes of like, I just don't care. I feel like they kind of in that same boat in a way, like they just don't give a damn at times. And that's, I don't know.
Yeah,
man.
I mean, I'll say this: put Kyrie Irving in James Harden shoes the other night. Even though Kyrie Irving might not have a bad game, might not have a good game, Kyrie Irving's still gonna shoot.
Absolutely,
He's still gonna shoot. So, I mean, they do have. I would say they do have similar traits, but Kyrie Irving's in shape though. I can say that Kyrie Irving, he'll be in shape. It's kind of a mental thing with Kyrie Irving. His mind be elsewhere, and sometimes it's important.
And that's my point with both of them. I feel like mentally, they mind both be like,
like do I really want to play basketball? Why am I here? Type thing.
Right. Like damn, they're like I'm ready to retire. I done made enough money.
Yeah, for sure. So I kind of feel like that with James Harden. He just I've been saying this whole playoff, like it just really looked like he's going through the most. I think he had one 30-point game. I think it was this series, and he kind of looked like James Harden.
Game 4.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, to me, it was okay, but he still hasn't looked like James Harden to me since those first 5 games in Philly.
Yep. Yeah, bro. Like they got that attitude. Like I don't need basketball
anymore. Yep.
But that's exactly not true. That's not true. You should need basketball. It should be the opposite, man. Especially if y'all consider yourselves superstars and want to win. James Harden haven't got it done, So will he ever get it done? We'll see, bro. On the other hand, Philly, they didn't part ways with our Chicago bro, Doc Rivers. And so that was good to see because for a minute, I thought he was going to get ousted, man. I thought he was going to be the guy to blame. You feel me? But they ain't blame him. I think they probably did recognize the effort from the team in general. And so at least we know he'll be there. Hopefully James Harden will be back next year, according to Daryl Morey. On the other hand, bro, the Warriors and Grizzlies. Um, the Warriors. So, great team, man. Clicking on all cylinders. They had, they got whooped the other night. You seen the Golden State, they was playing whoop that trick,
Hurt my feelings.
you know what I'm saying? So, the Grizzlies, they young, bro. They feisty. They
Yeah.
want that smoke, like you say. When that smoke is coming, they running up the chimney. They ain't running down, they running up the chimney. And so the Grizzlies, I really like this team, bro. I love their identity, everything about them. Unfortunately, they was without Ja Morant, right?
Yeah.
So without Ja, they eventually fell to the Warriors. But just your thoughts from this series, man, and any further analysis you got from the Warriors or the Grizzlies?
First thing, shout out to the Grizzlies. They played a hell of a series. They were undermanned and Superstar wasn't there. Young team, full of energy, hard to beat when they're shooting well. They can play without their superstar, as you seen the other night. I had the Warriors winning 4-1, and they came back with they were 50 points at one point.
Up 55, bro.
Yeah, they were 55. So
55.
they messed up my prediction. They messed up my prediction. I was firm with the 4-1. I was almost there. But great team. It was a reason why they were number 2 in the West. Great year. They'll be back for sure. Hopefully Ja stays healthy throughout his career. Feel like he hits the floor too much, kind of plays kind of reckless sometimes, but great player. He's gonna be an exceptional player in this league. But I think the Warriors experience just got them over the top. Some games they didn't shoot. Some games they didn't shoot pretty well, but when they really needed it in crunch time, I think the experience got them over the hump. And I think that's what really won the series. I mean, you seen it last night. You seen it in game 1 when they took the first game in Memphis. And I think it was the experience.
Yeah. I'm with you, bro. Experience, the youth of the Grizzlies. And then on top of that, bro, Chase Center, Warriors fans.
Game 6, Clay.
I mean, as we know, bro, like in Golden State, that's the hardest place to win in the NBA.
Yeah.
It ain't even close. Like the crowd there is so loud, so energetic. It's a reason why LeBron cried, bro, when he won that championship in 2016, because he not only had to deal with them sharpshooters, he had to deal with the crowd in Golden State. And it's a lot to deal with. And the Grizzlies, the baby Grizzlies, remember like back in the day, bro, when the Bulls like 05, they was going to the playoffs and we like, they right there.
After
That's
Michael
before
Jordan,
D-Rose.
yeah.
We used to call them the baby Bulls.
Bulls.
Yeah, these
Before
like
we had a superstar, yep.
right. This like the Grizzlies right now. They the baby Grizzlies, except they got a superstar, but they building up their experience right now. This was definitely a series of experience, and the Warriors clearly had the better experience because, as you know, in up to Game 5, the Grizzlies outplayed the Warriors in the series.
Yeah.
But how were the Warriors up? How? Experience. They knew how to close out Game 1, in which Klay Thompson came up big this series, bro. Klay Thompson hit that game-winning three-pointer in Game 1. Game 2, Memphis bounced back. Game 3, it was a close one, as you remember. But Golden State eventually pulled it out. Game 4, another one. They won by 2 points. Like Memphis supposed to won Game 4. They choked it. And that was even without Ja. They choked the game. Game 5 came back, whooped them. And so at that point, I'm like, man, Memphis could have easily been up 3-2 if Ja was on the court or if they had better experience. And so I'm taking a lot of positives away from Memphis because I think they definitely gonna be back, bro. And so it was said by Brooks of the Dylan Brooks of the Grizzlies. He like, enjoy y'all moment, Golden State. We'll be back. If you go to ESPN and the website, that's up there right now, bro. It's legitimately up there right now. And so
I like the hunger.
yeah. Memphis is right there on the crust of something special. And so as long as they can continue to let's say build up, bro, that roster and get maybe one more nice piece that can get buckets independently, you know what I'm saying? Like somebody that can get hot and catch fire on their own, Memphis gonna be a legit problem.
Yeah.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. And so, yes, in this case, bro, let's transition to our last series, the Suns and the Mavs. And so, the Suns, man, they had a chance to take care of business. Game 6, went to Dallas, got the brakes beat off of them.
It all fell down.
All fell down, bro. I'm just curious, man, because you remember last week, I guess Giselle, she pointed out that the Mavs will win the series. Now, she might have been wrong in regards to 6 games, but it's very, very well possible that it could be 7 games. And so, just curious, bro, do your prediction from last week and what you had the Suns, do your prediction with the Suns stay the same? Or are you at the point to where you're like, man, the Mavericks might pull this out?
I think I am to that point where the Mavericks might pull it out. Like I was telling you the other day, might have been yesterday or the day before. Chris Paul, he got to show up. He's been kind of, I don't know where he's been at, but he got to show up for them to win. He has to show up for them to win tomorrow. I wasn't expecting that game to happen like that the other day. Dallas, it's like when they in rhythm and they playing good and they getting solid minutes out of Jalen Brunson, and then Luka comes to play, and they shoot is hitting. It seemed like they can beat anybody,
right?
And then you see them on another night, and it might just be Luka out there taking all the shots and 1-on-1 dribble, shoot basketball, and they might get blew out. But
right.
I mean, they have been playing Phoenix tough. They have been playing Phoenix tough for Phoenix to be the defending Western Conference champs. That would be a big upset if they upset them game 7, and I wouldn't be surprised. Now, I would say it's going to be a tough feat for them to beat them in Phoenix in a game 7.
Right.
That crowd is going to be, they're going to be crazy. So I mean, if I want to say Phoenix, I'll say Phoenix because of experience, but I would not be surprised if Dallas come in there and handle business and set the tone from the first quarter. I would not be surprised if Dallas send them home.
I'm telling you, bro, like, just imagine, right? Like, imagine the Dallas Golden State Western Conference Finals. That's going to be a fun series, bro. That's going to be a lot of offense, a lot of fireworks. That's going to be a lot of scoring, man. Whereas with the Suns and the Warriors, it's going to be an ultimate chess match.
Yeah.
It's going to be big boy basketball. It's going to be the matchup everybody wanted to see. It's going to be the matchup a lot of people were expecting to see and hoping to see. And so if that was to happen, it would be great for just basketball fans in general. But, as stated last week, bro, we stated that Dallas could crash the party. On the other hand, man, what's up with Devin Booker, bro? I got a part I want to show last week, and I'm going to share this video, bro, from last week's podcast. And it was talking about our brother Devin Booker, and we don't know what the hell has been going on with Devin Booker, man. So I'm just curious and if this is the problem with Devin Booker. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show a video, bro, And it's going to talk about our friend Devin Booker and the scenarios of everything that's been going on with him, or is this the reason why he's playing the way he's playing? So let's show this video.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a roll with Ian on here, Giselle, because, and the reason being is, as a fan, number one, the whole season I've been wanting to see Golden State and Phoenix in the Western Conference Final, and that's what I thought it would be. The Mavs could very well come crashing the party, or the Grizzlies. Remember, I mean, a few years back, we all wanted the Clippers and Lakers, right, Ian?
Yep.
And the Nuggets crashed that party. And so part of the Clippers choke too, though. So,
big time.
That was an epic joke. And so, like, us fans, we want to see certain matchups, you know, based off of competitiveness. And so I would love to see those two teams, but I do think that Phoenix is the better team. And when it matters, they will make their shots. On the other hand, Prescott JB stated, Chris Paul got tired of losing and getting old, so now he's taking HGH to win the finals once and for all. And wow. And so HGH, I'm assuming, is a substance or something like that. And so yes, it's very interesting. And so good morning, Deshaun. Just an FYI, brother. Giselle is going with your Mavs. She believes the Mavs will pull out an upset and take down the mighty Phoenix Suns. And so it is very interesting to see what happens with that series, because the Mavericks are a team that's clicking on the right cylinders at the right time. And Luka, man, he just pulling it up, y'all, from the parking lot, like it's just nobody's business. And I'm just sitting there like, man, like, how does this dude just sit there literally with two hands? He don't lean into it. He just flow the ball back. That's a lot of upper body strength, and like to just, and you know, an NBA 3-point is a long 3-point. You know, like, and he just throw that thing up way behind the line, and they just be like swish. And so it is very, very fantastic to watch. And then Prescott JB stated that he cannot understand how star athletes like Devin Booker date the same rotation of like 8 women. I'm with you, bro. Like, I don't see why these athletes just go and they date these women who they know when they just got history of dumping people. Like, I think she'll just eventually build up this man and then dump him eventually. And then he's gonna really have air balls, Giselle. It's gonna be all type of air balls. He's gonna be hitting people in the crowd.
I know.
Like, getting into it with referees and stuff. Like what's wrong with you, Devin? Like, what's going on, man? Be like, Kendall Jenner. So he should ask Tristan Thompson. What's the other guy? Remember Chris Humphries?
Lamar.
Wasn't Ben Simmons dating one of them too?
Who else?
Was Ben Simmons dating one of them too?
Ben Simmons dated Jenner before Devin. Yeah. Devin Booker.
Tyler Hero?
Tyler Hero, really?
I think so. I'm not sure. That
wouldn't surprise me. So that's 6. Who else? Any Reggie Bush? Reggie Bush. That's NFL. Any baseball players? Any baseball players? We're having a Kardashian countdown, y'all, of athletes. So we're at 7 right now. Damn, it's another football player I can't think of. And what's the other guy? He got a baby. Did he play for the Charlotte Hornets?
PJ Did Blake Washington? Griffin date someone?
Blake Griffin, yes, that's true. Yeah. Blake Griffin did. Yep. He dated one of the Jenners, some one of them, or maybe one of the, I don't know, it's one of them. One of the 5 women. But I can't think of another football player. PJ Washington, no, that's another woman. That's another celebrity, I think. But
yeah, I think that was celebrity.
At least we're at 8 right now with the Kardashian countdown of athletes. There might be more, who knows? So yeah, bro. That is the debut of the Kardashian Countdown. And so last weekend we left off at 8, but we know it could be more, bro. And so my whole point with the video is this, G. This is my point, bro. With Devin Booker, bro, like the way he played the other night, he played terrible.
Well, yeah.
I mean, it was abysmal. Like he had a nice first quarter, and after that, he just went anemic, bro, the whole rest of the game. He tried to score a few little baskets, and they were heavily earned when he scored them. And outside of that, bro, he just went anemic, which is why Phoenix just went straight under the tank. So due to this, bro, like, I don't know, man. I bring up the Kardashian Countdown. I bring up his anemic. I bring up Chris Paul performance. And bro, the way it's looking, Giselle might be right, Joe. Like
She might be.
she might be right, bro. Like, we gonna see how this turned out, but you right, bro. If Phoenix was to lose this series, it's gonna be turned up. It's gonna be turned up Monday morning. It's gonna be turned up for real. And so it's gonna be a lot of eyes on that series because a lot of people have been wanting to see Phoenix and Golden State all year. And if they don't get Phoenix and Golden State, people ain't gonna be too mad because they're gonna get Luka and Dallas. But at the same time, they're gonna be looking at Phoenix like Chris Paul ain't gonna never get that ring.
Yep.
You know, Devin Booker goes anemic when it matters most, like that young lady, just like she said.
Yep.
And Dallas just gonna be like, hey, it's our turn. We arrived now. And Luka gonna have to say so to say, hey, y'all finally gave me a team. Now look at what I can do. You know what I'm saying? And if Dallas win that series, bro, they're gonna be tough for Golden State in the conference finals. And I think as basketball people, we all know that.
Yeah.
So yeah, bro. Any final thoughts or anything else on this series as we progress?
Like I said, if Chris Paul if he comes to play, I think they should pull it out. Home court advantage, game 7. You know, they got over the hump last year, got to the finals. A little more experience than Dallas. Not sleeping on Dallas though, because as we see, they're more than capable. So I'll say Phoenix. I'll say Phoenix will get it, should get it done.
Right. We're gonna see, man, for sure. I'm with you. I believe that Phoenix will get it done. I picked them. But as a Phoenix, if I'm a Phoenix Suns fan, I'm nervous. I'm nervous as hell.
Yeah.
I'm super nervous. So we're gonna see, man, how that series turned out. Game 7 tomorrow. Let's talk some baseball, bro, before we head out for the weekend. And so right now, the Los Angeles Angels, bro, we talked about them a few weeks ago. Me, you, Quinn, Jamar, and we mentioned, you know, they got the top 2 players in baseball, right? And Mike Trout and Ohtani. Right now, bro, they are looking like a really good team. About 11 games above 500, man, somewhere around there. They winning baseball games, knocking out home runs. Mike Trout, Ohtani, both dominating. As the LA Angels, man, have they finally arrived with this roster, bro? Like, are the LA Angels for real, or are they just leading us on?
I believe they might be for real. Like we said last time, you know, the Angels, you know, they go out, they spend all this money, they get these top names, and they always seem like they're like in the middle of the pack. They can never really get over the hump. So I feel like they might be there. You know, it's a long season, of course. But I mean, 11 games over 500. I mean, that's pretty good for right around this time. So they might be there. They might be there. Finally, they might be there.
Right. Yeah, man. 22-12. They one of the top teams by record, although the Yankees are dominating right now, bro. They like the best team in baseball. They came and smacked the Sox. Football scores on the Sox. This past week. We'll talk about the Sox shortly, but yeah, man, the Angels are looking like for real, and we just wanted to point this out in the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast. because me and Ian, we know we talked about this, but we wanted to point it out to the world so that the world can eventually become up to par on this LA Angels team. And so we're going to see how they progress, bro. It's always good for baseball when the face who they want so bad to be the face, Mike Trout, is winning. And so when he's winning, it's going to be good for baseball because it's going to be more views. It's going to be more everything. People just going to tune in because Mike Trout is the face of baseball. They wanted that Caucasian face and they got it, bro. And so it's important for him to win. And so right now he's winning. And so we'll see. If they don't win, it's going to be really, really if they don't win, white folks still going to take up for Mike Trout. Yes,
of course.
you hearing this for Brandon Price on the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast. White folks still going to say he's still the best player in baseball, still a great leader, all this other stuff. I don't see it. And so if he's winning, though, it will shut me up for the moment. But if he's not winning, you definitely will hear from us because even amongst them making the playoffs, Ian, if he makes the playoffs, bro, that's nice. But I still want to see some greater because if you got the top two players in baseball, bro, you gotta go deep. Gotta go deep in
the playoff. Yep.
You gotta make some type of run. And so we're gonna see how this team progress, bro, as the season go along. On the other hand, bro, the LA Dodgers, bro. We know about the LA Dodgers. I'm just curious, like with the Dodgers, with their roster, man, can they make yet another run to the World Series?
It's very possible. I kind of relate the Dodgers they're almost like the baseball Lakers in a sense. You know, it's always possible. You can never count them out. Just won it. What was that? 2 years ago or a year ago? It was kind of tricky with the it was kind of tricky with the pandemic because through the years also. I know they won the same year the Lakers did.
Right.
Yeah. They won the same year the Lakers did. So it was 2020. But you can never count them out. Record is pretty good so far, so you can never count out the Dodgers.
Right. Yeah, definitely, bro. They the Dodgers and they good for baseball too. And they got a winning culture. They've been winning for quite some time, and that's what they're used to.
Yeah.
And so I'm with you, man. Like they definitely can make a World Series run. You got Freddie Freeman. You got just so much talent on this roster, man. Let me actually pull up a little bit of let's say this roster, man, because you know, even though they lost a few players, they still got some ballers on this team, man. They still got the best player. I feel like the best leader in baseball, and that's Mookie Betts. Yeah. Still got him on the roster, man. Still got Clayton Kershaw, Hall of Famer, Cody Bellinger, Trevor Bauer, man, who is a great pitcher, bro. And they just brought him in. Trey Turner, Justin Turner. You know, these guys are used to big playoff moments. And so the LA Dodgers, man, definitely is a serious team. And so we watching both of those LA teams for sure, bro. Both of those LA teams. So yes. On the other hand, bro, let's talk the Cubs real quick and the Sox. The Cubs, they slumping, bro. Are the Cubs who we thought they were? This should go out on the page this week.
Yes. Yes, they are.
Okay, yeah, the Cubs are who we thought they were.
Who we thought they were.
Yeah, the Cubs are who we thought they were. And so, yeah, man, it ain't looking too good in Wrigleyville, but you can go down there and get a drink. And so, you know, you go down there and get a drink, get you a good time, man. You ain't just gonna be winning a lot of baseball games.
But my thing is with the Cubs, I don't always want that to be their MO. Like, you know, I want them to be consistent. I want them to be good and consistent on a consistent basis. Like, you don't want it to be like they won the World Series, 2016. So then, you know, they broke the team up and now it's just been kind of like, oh, well, we got our championship and, you know, that's it. So now it's kind of like the rebuild mode. It's like, they really don't care.
Right.
And I don't like that. Like, I felt like they could have kept they could have kept some of the team together, you know, just changed a couple things, but kind of keep that core basis there just to, you know, keep them relevant. You know, you don't want them to just be relevant every 100 years. Like, granted, they were relevant during the Sammy Sosa days. That was what, 97, 98, 99. You know, that was 20 years ago, bro. So you don't want them to be relevant every 20 years, you know. Me being from Chicago, I would rather both teams be good, you know.
Yeah. Yep. It all changed in '03 for the Cubs, man, when, they were right there, and Moises Alou,
how can we forget? Steve
tried to
Bartman.
catch that ball, man, and ran into Bartman, who lived in Arlington Heights, by the way.
Yeah, I know. They
poor guy, man. Like,
pushed him out, man.
Just hasn't been the same since for the Cubs, man. And so it is a very, very understanding situation. Me and Ian both understand that the Cubs are in rebuild mode. We just would like to see the build mode kind of increase, but it is increasing a little bit. It's growing a little bit, and so we stick with that momentum. But yeah, man, you got a lot of fans, but with the Cubs, unfortunately, they just ain't winning right now. The best chance in Chicago that is a chance of winning is the White Sox. But the White Sox, man, they haven't been consistent either, bro.
No, not this year. No, up and down.
Right now, they 15-16. Got smacked by the Yankees, man. Got smacked by the Angels. They go up against good teams and they just, and they had a pretty good week last week, but this week they kind of came back and just had a bad week. They followed it up. Good week, bad week.
Bad week. Mm-hmm.
So is the Sox telling us that they're going to be a team that's going to be around 500, when the season ends? Are they telling us that they still have bullpen problems? Is Tony La Russa the issue with the White Sox? We shall see. We should definitely see because, although they've been to the playoffs, you and a couple other folks have stated that we don't know if he can take us to the mountaintop.
Yeah, take us to that next step. To be honest, they almost sound like another Chicago team that we know, the Bulls. They up and down. Granted, the Bulls had injuries, but like you say, they up and down. They have one good week, and then boom, they get smacked. By, like you said, arguably the best team in the MLB right now. So, you gotta beat those good teams to show you, how good your team really is. You got to beat those good teams, and that's with anything. So, hopefully they can get it together. But like I've been saying, if they don't get over that next hump, and I know they're better than just leveling out at 500 or being close to 500. White Sox are better than that, and we've all seen it. So I feel like if they can only stay at that plateau this year, I think it's time to let the Tony La Russa. I think it's time to let that go.
All right, yes, sir. And on that note, bro, that concludes our conversation this morning here on the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast. We will definitely be looking in tune to how the White Sox do, as well as the Cubs, because we're fellow Chicagoans. The White Sox do have the Yankees today and tomorrow in a 4-game series. And so hopefully the White Sox, bro, they can try to get, 1 or 2 wins. I'm hoping they can get 2 so they can get above 500, but we shall see. It ain't looking too hot for the Sox right now, but, it's early in the season, so I guess we ain't going to overreact too much. And so on that note, bro, any final thoughts or shout outs as we head into the weekend, bro?
No, not really. Oh, I do have one. Seems like the New Orleans Saints are loading up. They got signed Tyrann Mathieu this week and yesterday Jarvis Landry. So their receiving core is looking pretty explosive. You got Michael Thomas. They just drafted Chris Olave. Now they got Jarvis Landry. They're loading up in New Orleans. So hopefully Jameis can get it together. Hopefully Jameis come back healthy and get it together.
That's the big question.
I believe so. I believe as long as he take care of the ball, I feel like they should be fine. might be a team to watch out for.
Absolutely, bro. I hear you. Biggest question though in New Orleans and in this football league is always the quarterback.
Sure.
So it's a quarterback-driven league, and so if Jameis balls out, New Orleans will ball out. They might be, right back in a familiar situation. They've been at for a number of years with Sean Payton and Drew Brees. But a lot of that depends on famous Jameis. But that is definitely a good shout out, bro. I want to shout out the NHL playoffs, and a lot of people sleeping on the NHL, bro. These are good competitive games. I've never seen a first round of competitive series as much. I mean, every series. No series has went no less than 6 games, bro. We got at least 4 to 6 that's going game 7. And so it's off the chain, bro, watching NHL playoffs. And so me and my wife been tuning in. We've been watching St. Louis and Minnesota, or like Colorado, man, LA and Edmonton. We've been watching these squads play, and it's been quite entertaining, man. So you guys get a chance, tune in.
Yeah, I might check it out, man. For sure.
It's something different. It's something different for sure, man. On the other hand, man, one thing I do want to point out as well is the LA Sparks of the WNBA. Shout out to them and Derek Fisher. They looking like a really good team.
Yeah.
The Seattle Storm looking like a really good team. And last, I want to shout out to Chicago Sky, who lost a heartbreaker the other day in the first game. They kind of choked in overtime, but then they came out and blew out the Liberty by 50 points. So that lets you know that Chicago
we'll
Sky,
be back. We'll be
they
back.
ready to ride.
Yeah.
They ready to ride, bro. And so, yes, on that note, bro, I appreciate you chopping it up with me this morning. Our brother Ian Jones, he is on various platforms. See you, cuz no. He is on TPM Sports Talk Podcast. Plus, he rocks with the Early Morning Sports Talk Podcast. Ian Jones, this is a lifestyle for our brother. And so appreciate you, bro.
No problem. Always a pleasure, bro.
Yes, sir. And so everyone, thank y'all for tuning in this morning with the Early Morning Sports Talk Podcast. Happy anniversary, my bro. Jamar, we missed you today. But at the same time, we totally understand, man, that you are with your wife and with your family. You enjoy that time, bro. So, yes, sir.
Blessings, bro. Blessings, bro.
Yes, sir. Well, you guys all have a blessed weekend. And we thank you all for chopping it up with us this morning. Have a great weekend and peace.
Peace.